Thanks for your patience. Here we go. Section 1.7. It's just kind of a continuation of Friday. But now we're going to do some equations. We talked about the shapes and what they look like and all that kind of stuff. But now we're going to do some things with them. And we're going to, first of all, find two things. We're going to find the surface area of these things. Okay, and, that's a little plus for and we're going to find the volume of these things. Now look, I'm not going to get really deep into this. There is a chapter later on in the book, probably towards the end of the year actually, where we get a lot more detailed about surface area and volume. Right now I'm just going to show you the equations that they give you, the formulas that they give you in the book. When we get to this chapter, which is a lot later on, I forget what chapter number it is, but a lot later on, we're going to talk a lot more in depth about surface area and volume. We're just not going to do a whole lot with it today, right? So let's do that that prism first of all. So let me grab that prism. I think that's right there. Oh, that's not a prism. I thought I grabbed it. Maybe not. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Copy, paste. There we go. There's a prism. Alright, it's a rectangular prism, this thing right here. If we want to find the surface area. Now let me just show you something right now. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to show you straight up the formula from the book. Okay, I got a better way to learn this, to tell you the truth, but we'll wait till we get to that other chapter I was telling you about. So I'm just going to just go straight up, just giving you what they give you in the book. Let's put this a different color so I can write on top of that thing. Let's go this blue right here. All right. So let's see what they say. Let's do. Now they use T. I don't know why they use T, but let's go SA for surface area. Is that all right with you? That makes more sense than T. I think T is like total, is what they use the T for. Not exactly sure, but let me just look at it for a second. Okay, so they use T for surface area. Might as well just use what they do. So, if you look back in the book, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. But you might want to jot a note to yourself that T means the total surface area. All right. So if I want to find the surface area, now look at this. It's not just one flat surface, is it? We learned how to find the surface area in like chapter 1.6. It's just like length times width, right, for a rectangle, or 1/2 the base times the height for a triangle. We learned that. But on this, we use T for surface area. This is what we're going to do. If you were to find the perimeter of the base, see this right here? That would be considered one of the bases. There's actually two bases. So actually, I'm not even going to shade all that in. We'll just draw this line around it. If I find the perimeter, and they use P for perimeter. The perimeter of what, though? The perimeter of the base, what it's sitting on. So this whole figure right here is sitting on this, isn't it? Everybody see that? But the top and the bottom are exactly the same. Okay, the two bases are exactly the same. So you can find in the book, they draw a red line around this, the top of it. But it's the same thing as the bottom. So what we do is we find the perimeter of the base. Okay, we multiply it by the height. And then we take the, I'll tell you what, let's do this. This is what they do in the book. The T represents surface area. Let's just write this down, because I'm going to write a bunch of letters down, and I want you to see what they actually mean in the book. P means the perimeter of the base. And then what other letters do they use? Okay, if they just use a capital B, that means the area of the base. And we've talked about what area means and what perimeter means and all that stuff. H, what do you think H means? That's an easy one. Yeah, that's the height. The, what else? Oh, well, V means volume. That's, again, pretty easy. Oops, what am I doing? Volume. And every once in a while, in a couple of these, you'll see, let's do this, R. What do you think R stands for, especially in a circle? Radius. Okay. And then there's one more. This one you probably wouldn't know. Slide this down a little bit, give myself some more room. Oops. It's the T. There we go. I'm going crazy today. That's equals, right? And then L. L means the slant height. Oh, I didn't do regular height, did I? We'll talk about slant height. There is no slant height on this one. And then H is the regular height. Did I? Oh, I did put it there. Sorry about that. It's right there. Okay, so we'll get to slant height when we talk about another type of figure, all right? But right now we're not doing that. All right, so let's just deal with this one right here. What do we want to do? We want to find the T. What are we finding if I solve for T? The what? The surface area, right? So what do? I take the perimeter of the base, which means, what if I just knew the lengths of the sides? How would I find the perimeter? Just add them all up, right? This plus this plus this plus this. All right, so you find the perimeter of the base multiplied by the height. What's the height of this thing? Well, it's the perpendicular distance from the top all the way down to the bottom. So that would be the height. Everybody see that? So plugging the numbers in these formulas are easy. It's just a matter of knowing the formulas and knowing what they represent and knowing what it is on this picture. All right, so the distance around the bottom would be the perimeter. This would be the height. And then they say plus 2 times B. What is B? It's the area of the base. Well, what kind of a figure is the base right here? It's a what? Well, you don't necessarily know it's a square, but it's a rectangle, okay? Because remember we talked about this before, a square is a rectangle. So it's a rectangle. We don't know. We don't know if all the sides are equal to each other, do we? So you can't say it's a square, but you can say it's a rectangle, all right? So it is because it's a rectangular prism, like I said at the beginning. So yeah, we can say that it's a rectangle. So we just find the area of this rectangle. So if they stuck some numbers in here, I don't know, let's just put some numbers in here, make it real easy for us. Let's go different color. Let's go this red. All right, I don't know, let's say that that's 5. Let's say that that's 3. Let's say the height is, I don't know, what do you think? Like 8 or something like that? Okay, so how would you find the total surface area of this? Well, it's the perimeter of the base. So what would the perimeter be? It'd be 16, wouldn't it? Because if this is 5, that's 5. If this is 3, then that's 3. Find the perimeter by adding them all up. 5 and 5 is 10, 3 and 3 is 6, that's 16. So it's 16 times the height. What's the height of this whole thing? It's 8 plus 2 times the base. Not just the base, but the what of the base? The area of the base. So how do I find the area of this thing right here? Remember, it's perpendicular. Right, length times width. 3 times 5 is what? 15. All right? So you just plug and chug. Stick all that in a calculator. Somebody do that for me. Who's got a calculator out, ready to go? Michael? Getting that all in there? Whatever 16 times 8 is, I just don't know what that is. That's 30. But 128 altogether? Okay, I'll trust. Well, I want the whole thing altogether. 158? Okay. So 158. And that's the total surface area. Let's say it was in centimeters. So would it be just 158 centimeters? It would be centimeters squared because area is always squared. Okay, if it was a length, like the perimeter is a length, that would just be in centimeters. But area is always squared, centimeters squared. Everybody with me on that? It wasn't hard to do, was it? It was just a matter of understanding what the P represented, what the capital B represented, what the H represented, plugging the numbers in from the picture, and then just working it all out and getting an answer. All right. Again, like I said, this is like the third time I've said this, but there will be a time later on where I'll go into more detail about this on why this equation is what it is. This goes against everything that I believe in, is just throwing equations out at you and saying, just plug it in. I like you to know where these equations come from. But this lesson, really, I don't think is all interested in that right now. Later on, we're going to do that. Let's do a couple more. So here's another one. This one is a regular pyramid. Regular pyramid. Now, on that other one, I should say, this was a, yeah, we'll do, oh yeah, I guess we should have done volume right there, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should do volume before I do this. Well, watch this. This was a prism, and this happened to be a rectangular prism because the bottom of it is a rectangle. I could have had a triangular prism, so I wouldn't have just gone length times width. What if the bottom of this was a triangle? How would I find the perimeter of it? Well, I'm sorry. How would I find the base of it, the area of the base? It wouldn't just be length times width. It would be what? It would be 1/2 the base times the height, exactly. Okay, so this doesn't have to be a rectangle. It could be any kind of a figure, but you got to find the area of that particular figure. Okay, yeah, I should have done volume. So let's do volume right now. So the volume is actually pretty easy. The volume is B times H. Again, what does B represent? The what? The area of the base. So let's do that. The area of the base. Well, we actually did it up here before, didn't we? So it's just 3 times 5, which is what? 15 times the height. What's the height of this whole thing? 8. Michael, you with me? 15 times 8. Give that to me. 120. Yeah, I should have been able to do that in my head. But what's volume, though? It's not centimeters squared. It's centimeters what? Cubed. That's right. Volume is always cubed. All right? So that's how you do volume. I probably will not have you memorize these. If I give this to you on a quiz or a test, I'll give you these formulas, all right? So you don't have to memorize them. For the 4th time now, when we get to that chapter, I'll show you a better way to do this. And you will have to memorize the way that I show you how to do these. So you will actually have these things kind of memorized. All right, let's do a regular pyramid. Okay, there's our regular pyramid. Now let's take a look at this. Look at the difference between the pyramid and the prism. The pyramid, it's got a rectangular base, doesn't it? But what's it do? It goes up to a point instead of the sides going straight up. So what do you think we're going to incorporate on this one that we didn't have before? Look, it does what? It slants, doesn't it? Okay, so we might have a slant height on one of these. So let's do this. Let's do T. What did the T represent? Total surface area, right. Okay, so here's the formula. 1/2 P. What does the P represent? The perimeter of the base. On this one, it happens to be a rectangle again, doesn't it? You could have a pyramid that's a triangle pyramid or an octagon pyramid or something like that, okay? But right now, it's just a nice little easy rectangle, so we're good to go with that. Times L. What did the L stand for? The slant height plus B, and capital B represented area of the base, right? It's the area of the base. And we know how to find the area of base, especially if it's a rectangle, just the length times the width. So let's throw some numbers in. I don't know, what would show up here? Let's go with this purple color. So, I don't know, let's make something up. Let's say that's 3. Let's say this is what? Let's say it's 6. Is that all right? And let's say... tell you what, they've got one in the book. Let me see. Do I want to? Yeah, let's say this is a. Let's do this. Let's say this bottom thing's a square. It kind of doesn't look like a square, but let's say it's a square because it does say regular pyramid. Regular means the bottom would be a regular figure, which means the angles and the sides would be equal to each other. So let's say this whole thing from here to here is 6. Alright, that side. So one of the bottom is 6. Let's say the slant height is 5. Now, watch what I'm going to do with the slant height. I'm going to drop it like this. That's the L. Is that alright? And so that's the slant height. Let's say that is 5. And the height of it...
Middle school field hockey is now dismissed for pictures.
Watch this. The height of it, you got to picture it. Picture it kind of hollow. If you go from the top straight down to the middle of the base, does everybody see that? This might be a little confusing, but if you drop it down straight like that, that's the regular height. Alright. You see the difference? Okay, the regular height goes from the top straight down the middle of it, and it hits the middle of the base. The slant height goes down the side. So if you were going to sit on top of this pointy pyramid, right, slide down, that would be the slant height. Everybody got that? So let's say the slant or the regular height is 4. All right, so up and down is 4. Make sense? So let's plug some stuff in. So it's 1/2 P. What is the perimeter? Well, if one side is 6, what's the whole perimeter of the base? They only told you one side. What's that? 24. How'd you get 24? Because there's 4 sides, right, and they're all the same, okay, because it's a regular pyramid. So that would be 24. Times the slant height. Which one's the slant height? The 5 is the slant height, so we multiply it by 5. Plus the area of the base. Now we got to think about that one. They don't give it to you. We got to figure it out. What's the area of this base? It's 36, right, because it's 6 times 6 is 36. Half of 12, or half of 24 is 12, times 5 is what? 60, plus 36 is 96. And its area, so we'll call it centimeters again, centimeters squared. So that's how we would do that. That's total surface area. There's volume. Now, I don't even think I have to do all of these because you kind of understand what the sides are, the slant height, the regular height, and all that stuff. You can just look in the book. There's a nice chart on page 69 with the chart of all this stuff, okay, because we're running a little short on time. So the volume, we'll do this as the last one. It's 1/3 capital B H. So it's 1/3. What does the capital B represent again? The area of the base, which we already figured out earlier, which is 36, times the height. Now this is H, the regular height. Which one's the regular height? From the top straight down to the bottom. Which one is it? It's 4, isn't it? It's 4. So from the top straight down to the middle of this, that's the regular height. That's this height. It's not the slant height. Everybody see that? So that would be what? 4. All right, let's figure out what this is. What's 36 divided by 3? 12 times 4 is 48, so the volume is 48. Let's say it's in centimeters, so it would be centimeters what? Cubed, because it's volume, okay? And that's basically all there is to this stuff. All right, they give you some more formulas. Look on page 69 for the formulas. All right, so you'll have formulas for surface area and volume, and I don't think I really have to go over those. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory after I did those two. So I found all those pictures and only used 2 of them. Isn't that terrible? But that's okay. All right, so let me give you a few problems to work on. Yeah, did I tell you what it was Friday or not? I'm going to. So this page 69 is just the one that's on the chart. Here's your homework. It's pages 71 and 72, and we're going to do 18 to 29. It's not that many. I should probably give you more, shouldn't I? No? Alright, so this is section, what? 1-7, right? Remember, we're going to take a quiz tomorrow, which is what? Tuesday, on, what did I say? Section 1-5. Section 1-5. Quiz on Tuesday, section 1-5. This is tomorrow. Alright? There's no review. You just look over it yourself. Go to the YouTube videos if you need to. Alright? And that kind of thing. Oh, man, you know what? This is not over. I'm thinking it was over. I got till 2:33. I tell you what, I'll give you the rest of the time to work on it in class, okay? But listen, this is not just a playground time. This is not just study hall time. This is a time to do this assignment right here, okay? 18 to 29, section 1-7.